Tommy Robinson travels to the United States to give a lecture on Islam and is confronted by a student. And this one gets really interesting.
That's right.
Oh, yeah, I disagree.
Come up and talk. Come on. Do you want to come up? You can stay right there.
But you can hear me.
What's the mask? Can I ask what the mask for?
Because COVID is going on. Islam is a religion. You are pushing racist hatred.
Yep.
On a public campus, university.
Yep. Okay.
People of all backgrounds.
That's fine.
People of your background come here.
Okay.
It deserves to be a safe place.
Okay.
Not a place for your hatred.
That's fine. Can I ask you just one question? What did I say that is pushing racist hatred? What did I say?
One of the most interesting parts of this entire exchange is that one of the opening videos that Tommy used was a video of Stacey Dooley, who's a BBC presenter in 2012, making a documentary about Islamic extremism, which could not be made today, reporting on Islamic extremism, specifically in Luton, which is where Tommy's from and where Stacey's from. And I think it's really worth looking at how the BBC were reporting on this, because the name Tommy Robinson, to most people, will just immediately put a blocker in, and they just, it's like, you know, it's a brick wall, and they can't get past it. But when you see this clip of the BBC reporting on extremism, essentially using the same tactics that Tommy is using now to try and get this audience and educate this audience on Islamic extremism, you really can see how in 14 years things have changed so dramatically.
British police go to hell! British police go to hell!
That's Stacey in the red.
Speak to me like that. I was my hometown as well. No, I'm walking.
Okay.
I am walking. No, I can do what I want. That girl's just. I don't mind. Point away. Point away. Because you're not scaring me. Do you think it's fair that you should say British police need to burn in hell?
That's a freedom of speech. They wish to say that.
In Islam, doesn't it say that you have to respect the law of the land that you're living in? No. I thought it did.
That's my hometown. The town I love. The town I've seen change.
Now, bear in mind, everything that Tommy has presented has come from either the Quran itself or clips of Muslims speaking in their own words, which adds a very interesting element to this, because this is what I think escapes a lot of people when it comes to Tommy Robinson, is he packages up what Muslims themselves say and says, here's what they say. And then people say, how dare you say what they said? Let's have a look at some examples of what he has just been presenting to this person that is objecting to what he is saying.
Everyone in the room, how many of you are normal Muslims? You're not extremists. You're not radical. Just normal Sunni Muslims. Please raise your hands. Everybody, mashallah. Okay, take down your hands again. So it's not just these radical sheikhs then. Allahu Akbar. Next question. How many of you agree that the punishments described in the Quran and the Sunnah, whether it is death, whether it is stoning for adultery, whatever it is, if it is from Allah and His Messenger, that is the best punishment ever possible for humankind. And that is what we should apply in the world. Who agrees with that? Allahu Akbar. Are you all radical extremists? So all of you are saying that you are common Muslims. Allahu Akbar. How many of you just go to these normal masajids in Norway, the normal Sunni mosques? Please raise your hands. Allahu Akbar. So what's the politicians gonna say now? What is the media gonna say now? That we're all extremists? We're all radicals? We need to deport all of us from this country?
Yeah, Mohammed, that's exactly what we are saying. Can I ask you just one question? What did I say that is pushing racist hatred? What did I say?
Said that you
Yes.
to Congress and spoke to Congress.
Yes.
The points that you gave.
Yes.
That you would like them to round up all of the Muslims in their mosques.
No, I didn't say that. No. Do you want me to read you what I said? Let me read you what I said, because you're lying. You're lying. You're lying. You're lying. Okay? What I said was round up and deport every extremist preacher. Do you have a problem with that?
Extremist preachers.
Do you have a problem with that?
Is that by your definition?
Do you have a problem with... Just see the men who were calling for murder on that video.
Let's take a little look, shall we, at some of the things that the men were calling for on video that he's just shown the entire room.
Every Muslim on earth believes in the Sharia of Allah. Every Muslim on earth believes that democracy is evil and Sharia is the good.
They are on a mission to destroy the Western civilization, the liberal democracy, and everything it represents.
Look, Islam will enter every household, whether you like it or not. Donald Trump, inshallah, soon you will see we have a plan in place to go visit him.
A nation state will always fail for Muslims.
We would support our brothers in Iraq. That's the only way. So you want to defend America? We will not defend America.
Not your democracy, not your liberalism, not your capitalism, not your any other ism that man has invented, other than what Nabi Wasallam brought.
America is the cancer. America, the American government, secularism, democracy, capitalism, these are cancers.
We stand in full solidarity. We stand in full solidarity with the Islamic revolution.
With the Islamic revolution.
What we as Muslims want to implement here in the United States, we believe the Constitution should be replaced by the Quran.
First move that I will do, I will abolish the Constitution and I will establish the only logical and rational Constitution, which is the Quran and the Sunnah.
Do you have a problem with that?
Extremist creature.
Do you have a problem with that?
Is that by your definition, or
do you have a problem with? Just see the men who were calling for murder on that video. You see the men?
is that by your definition?
Okay, listen. Do you see the men that were calling for murder on that video?
Is that by?
No. I'm asking for your definition. Do you know the man on there?
So we have a lot of different definitions.
Excuse me. Do you know the men you saw in that video?
We have a lot of different definitions.
No, your definition. I'm asking for your definition. You. Okay, so your definition. You know the man on that video who called for murder in the videos?
Show the man on that.
Okay, well, any of the men that you saw in that video calling for the murder and takeover of the United States, the subjugation of non-Muslims, any of those problems, do you define them as extremists, or do you define me as extremists for calling them extremists?
I don't define either one of you as extremists. I define you as having a viewpoint and an opinion that you're stating.
Can I ask?
But
Yep.
your opinion fuels hatred.
Can I just ask?
I want you to know that, and I want you to get that.
Okay, can I ask you again?
Because I get you have your opinion.
Yes.
I have mine.
If your opinion's wrong.
Okay, that's
And not just wrong. Not just wrong. Your opinion is based on lies. You just lied. You said that I incited racial hatred. I asked you what I said. I asked you what I said that was racial hatred. You said I said deport every Muslim. I corrected you that I didn't say that. I told you what I said.
you said go into the mosque.
No,
You said take extremist preachers.
Yes, is there a problem with that?
You're gonna just go into mosque and take people because of your definition of extremism, how you define people.
Let's take another look, shall we, at some of the things that have been presented before this lady. And let's play along at home. Let's play, is this an extreme view? The game is this an extreme view, yes or no?
All of them will be killed by Muslims. They all will be executed by Muslims. كلهم لأنه واحد إلهي.
Kill them one by one. Oh Allah. So he's praying in an American mosque in front of his congregation to kill all of us. Yeah.
No longer have knowledge of how the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ was a warrior. And this is really a consequence of post 9/11 dawah, where the Muslims have decided they were too scared, say we don't want to speak about the fighting aspects of Islam.
And I only hope that Allah will bless me to see the day that I get to listen to the last gasping breath of them hanging from the rope that Allah gave them to hang themselves.
What is your duty as a member of the Ummah now that you are also an American? It is our physical jihad duty to fight the entire earth until we enter it into the Ummah.
But, of course, she continues.
That's not okay. This country is more than you.
Them coming into our churches and killing and murdering us, right?
This country.
Now let me ask you, with everything you just heard on those videos, what would you do to stop those people?
What would I do to stop those?
Yes.
Those people.
Yes.
All over the world.
No, the ones in America. The ones you just saw, what would you do to stop them?
They're all over the world, so I won't stop them. Why would
A deliberate misrepresentation of the question. What would you do to stop the ones that are in America? Not around the world. That's one problem. But the ones that are in America already. That's the question. But she's obfuscating entirely.
Well, we will stop them. Yeah, you may not want to stop them. You may not want to stop them, but many Americans will.
You already compared them, you know.
Many Americans want to stop them.
You're a minority.
I'm asking. That's the whole point here. Yeah.
Exactly, you're afraid, but it's not true. It's a false.
Yep.
It's a false fear.
You're right. I made up every single thing they were saying on that video.
It's difficult to understand or comprehend. All he's done is take clips of stuff that people have actually said and said, here's what they've said. And he's saying that he's making it up. It's really the term cognitive dissonance doesn't quite cover it. You're unable to reconcile that the observed evidence of your eyes and ears correlates to the reality of the situation. The dissonance is that the two aren't connected. But let's remind ourselves.
These are the faces of the British victims of so-called honour killings. I'm saying so-called because the word honour has no place in any discussion about murder and abuse. There are an estimated 12 victims each year in the UK, mostly young women, who are accused of shaming their family.
We have people ringing that have had relationships that are disproved by family members. We have people who are divorcing and their family won't allow them, or their community won't allow them to divorce.
There are around 5,000 each year across the world, largely from South Asia, the Middle East and North Africa.
We have victims of forced marriage who are very concerned that they're going to be taken out of the country and forced into marriages.
So many honour killings would remain unsolved because the family or community is not going to report it in the first place. There is collusion within that community or that family. They're going to stay quiet about it.
Although the crimes committed in the UK are not as high as other countries, there's evidence that it's a bigger problem than we thought.
Let's see if she starts to come round.
Have you read the Quran? You haven't, have you? You haven't, have you? You haven't read the Quran?
Can I answer his question?
Go on, answer the question. Go on.
My interpretation is that it's a religion, just like Christianity.
But
like,
what do you know about Islam? What do you know about Islam? What do you know?
I know that it is a religion.
Have you studied Islam?
I know that it is a religion.
Okay.
And you know that how? Because have you read the book?
Religion because I was taught it's religion, just like I was taught.
Oh, you was taught it was a religion.
I was taught Christianity.
That doesn't mean they're the same.
Do you understand the separation of church and state?
Christianity or religion?
We're wasting too much time on this one. Right. Thank you. Sorry. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming at least and listening. Thank you for coming. I know you didn't take much in, but thank you for coming.
I did come and listen.
And asking. No, it's fine. I'm happy to answer questions. But as I said, it was just on false.
I think for those of us that feel like we're at our wits' end with this sort of thing and with other changes that are happening in our society, we often ponder and think to ourselves, how have we arrived at this point? What's gone wrong? How? The British society was and always has been, as an ancient kingdom, a 1,000-year-old kingdom as England, a cohesive, high-trust society. What's happened? If you followed my work for a while, you'll know that I play with the term virtuenomics. It simply means the economics of virtue signalling. We often talk about things from a top-down perspective. So, institutions, government, councils, the private sector, people afraid to lose jobs. That's the use of power and force to get people to obey. But that isn't enough. For the type of insanity that we are living through at the moment, it needs to be bottom up. This is what I mean by virtuenomics, the economics of virtue signalling. Imagine if you were to put into the stock market pennies, and you were guaranteed to get pounds back. So you put pennies in, which cost you nothing, but in return you get a lot back. This is what happens on a daily basis with people that are desperate to virtue signal. What is virtue signaling? Virtue signaling is simply demonstrating that you have the correct and the right views and opinions in order for social validation. This is the premise of virtuenomics. You simply espouse the pre-approved correct opinion, you receive that validation back, and this can be quite addicting. I speak of somebody that was a fully paid up member of the Labour Party for 7 years. I understand the psychology of this. Left-wing politics is so seductive for that reason. All you have to do is engage in this perceived social justice warrior-like behaviour. It requires no courage, but you get to experience the benefits that validation brings, or as if you were saying the types of things, that did require courage, say during the civil rights movement, during a time in this country where there were signs up that said no blacks, no dogs, and no Irish. If you were speaking out then for the rights of minorities, that would have been courageous and brave. But we don't live in that world anymore. That world has been solved. If you made it this far, thank you. It's much appreciated. There'll be another video on the screen somewhere around probably, let me get myself straight, there, I reckon. But it could be there. Click on it. Maybe you've not seen it. If you like what you saw here, maybe you'd like what you see there.